This is beginning to be a really weird RLCS. But anyways, I really like this series. I thought it was one of the best series of the year so far. Both teams coming in this week. Week 1, NRG barely squeaked by Susquehanna Sonics. And then week 2, Spacestation actually lost to the Sonics. And these guys are two of the best teams in NA. Either of them are expected to be like the favorites to win NA. And everyone's like, oh, it's probably going to be one of these two teams. So coming in this match, I was really excited for some high quality gameplay. And it really didn't disappoint. But there were some interesting things in the series. Obviously, the first 4 games were all shutouts, alternating for who won them, which was really interesting because throughout the whole series, I thought it was really good gameplay. There were a lot of series so far this season that were close, and like some of the other game 5s and stuff, but it was a lot more mistake driven and not necessarily high quality. Like a lot of the play, it was so fast, so mechanically gifted. Like these players really needed their mechanical skill to just keep up with the pace that both the teams set for each other. It was really good Rocket League to watch, and so I was really excited for it. As a whole, I don't really think any of these players had a bad series necessarily. There were individual bad games, kind of like the first game when NRG scored 3 against Spacestation. They might not have had the best game, but they rebounded when they won game 2, etc. And it went on and on until game 5. And then game 5 was kind of a mess for NRG as they ended up losing 6-1. But until that was basically, they were in the game until only a little bit of the game left. So I'm gonna jump ahead to game 5 and I'll review that one. Yeah, it was a good game. So yeah, as we get into it, the things I was looking for at this point was any mistakes, because throughout the series, the mistakes that the teams did concede is when the other teams would capitalize, because it was so about the midfield control. Like they were generating a lot of really good offensive opportunities, both teams, and like really intercepting midfield passes, all this stuff. And it came down to honestly just a few big mistakes throughout the series that like kind of let the games get out of hand. And coming this last game, there were a good amount of why is this not loading? There were a good amount of passing plays from Space Station, especially, that I thought really helped them stay in the series. And like you could make an argument for either team to have won this series. You know what I mean? It wasn't really one-sided until the last game. But yeah, anyways, probably the worst individual performance I noticed that I probably expected a little bit more from was Justin. I thought he had some pretty weak defensive challenges throughout the series. As always, though, his offense was great. So yeah, obviously this is kind of awkward. NRG kind of struggling on defense to get a good controlled touch. And Cybical here, he's able to come and get a really nice shot on goal that forces Justin to get... Cybical forces a shot that Justin has to push to the side. And I don't know if Arsenal meant to miss this on purpose to hit it back to AXB, but either, like, we need to take note of this and make the most of our situations where we mess up, or he's just absolutely insanely smart, comes up behind the ball on purpose in order to hit it back to AXB, and if he does that, man, credit to him, that's ingenious. AXB comes in, super good cut in off the wall dribble with a flick up to Cybical to score the goal, like, nuts play. This was a really good play with that pass and then the flick pass to Cybical. Really, really solid play. And it was goals like that throughout the series that made me think this was one of the best series of the season so far. And this is what these teams are capable of. Both of these teams can pop off like that at any moment, and that's why we expect them to be, winning NA. Cybical here, coming up, a big play into the middle, but our RLCS is able to get a nice pass out to Justin, where it almost works out hitting back in the middle before it gets intercepted. And like I was saying before, it's all about that midfield interceptions these teams had. Huge bump there, gives Cybical some time, but he doesn't really do much with it. He kind of just flops it down to Turbo, but NRG is not able to capitalize on it either. EXB here, another really nice pass, and that would have been a really nice goal if Justin wasn't there to save it, but props to him for being able to save it. Like I said, another pass here, huge. And this is going to actually lead to another goal. Yeah, Garrett G coming in here, he's on the counterattack, so now he's on a one-on-one situation. Sorry, someone's in the corner, yeah, XB's in the corner. And so Garrett G goes for the flick to try to pop, but it's a low flick, it's not really a high flick, he's trying to get that on target. And Arsenal intercepts it, and Justin's up here, really good positioning, he's able to intercept it super quick. But look where all 3 of the Space Station gaming players are. There's no one able to intercept the pass to midfield for Turbopulsa. All three of them are up against their own back wall or in goal, and which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But if you look at that, like wherever you put it, it's going to go straight to a Spacestation player. Civical's in goal, AXB's going up the wall, and so Civical pops it up for Arsenal, and now just the way they hit it, Turbopulsa and Garrett G are both trying to come back, and Turbopulsa is not able to get up to it, but luckily Garrett G is able to save it. But it was another really nice play by Spacestation Gaming, and at this point, it's really starting to look worrisome. Like, we're already a minute and a half in the game, and Spacestation have already generated a ton of really good opportunities. Here's another one. AXB, awkward challenge, but he gets a nice pop. Turbopulsa just hits it to Civical, and he drops it down. Very selfless of him. Gives a nice shot to Arsenal. But another nice save. Huge demo there to protect AXB from getting demoed. And AXB comes up with a nice bump out of Turbopulsa to create some more pressure that wasn't necessarily needed for NRG at that point. So Garrett G comes out, he gets a nice soft touch so he can take control of it, but he's basically out of boost. Civical notices this, and he comes in and charges, and again, kind of gives it away, but now they're just creating pressure and trying to maintain that. As you can see, like, they've just been in this corner forever. NRG haven't been able to get out or do anything. A big miss from Justin there, but Turbopulsa is able to force the 50-50. And Garrett G, huge save. I have no idea how he saved that, but that kept them in this game. Huge solo play here from Arsenal. He comes up, just nicely taps it across the goal. And we talked about all the passing plays Spacestation had, but these, like I said, all these players are so mechanically gifted this series, and sometimes that single solo play can really carry a team, and all he needed to do is that nice little cradle against the wall when it didn't really have any support behind him, but because he wasn't being pressured, he was able to just create that opportunity and drop it down for AXB for the easy finish. Honestly, it's kind of hard to like really control your 50-50s, but I did notice NRG's challenges in Space Station's half, and especially against like Space Station's own back wall, really didn't go in their favor too much this series. Nice beat by AXB, and this touch doesn't really. This is where it starts to get out of hand here. AXB's flick really nice to beat Justin there. And the way he plays it, Turbopulsa is in such an awkward position, he can't really get a solid touch with AXB right there. Because, there's no reason to think AXB won't go for that ball. He's got all the momentum to go for it and try for his challenge. So Turbopulsa jumps early to try to get to the ball before AXB. And so at this point, you're in a terrible, terrible position. AXB is going to steal your boost. Even though Turbopulsa has boost, you're still not going to be able to access that boost for 10 seconds. Civical's on rushing. You see Justin right there, he's nowhere nearby to help. Turbopulsa's bad touch just kind of flops in the middle, and it's just a free-for-all. Civical, you see him boosting so much, he's able to get there in time. But Garrett G, huge save. Sorry, did I say that was going to lead to goal? Or it was getting handed in at least. Oh well, I thought that was where the goal was. Ignore me. Yeah, this is where NRG get back into it. After almost having that super great goal, Arsenal comes back and gets that really weird flop touch right here. Just back to the middle to try to hit it to Civical. Civical isn't able to get there in time, and Turbopulsa capitalizes. So, yeah, Arsenal and AXB I thought had a kind of off day on defense. I noticed they were the ones who conceded for most of the opportunities that NRG scored throughout the series. Obviously, it's not too big of a deal here. You got 1 goal lead, 2 minutes left. You can still win this. And that kickoff, huge deal. Even if it's just like it gives away possession, the rest of your team is able to get in possession. And it forces Turbopulsa to do something with the ball. Like, he has to do something with it. And so he has to use however much boost to try to get upfield when he ends up giving possession away. Now, Space Station can counter and try to get a good counterattack. But, huge challenge here from Civical. As we see, AXB is on low boost. All three of the NRG players are going upfield. But right now, there's no one behind NRG, or behind Justin. And so Garrett G quickly turns around because he's like, uh-oh, Civical's coming. Civical, huge challenge here. And so now Garrett G, he needs to get here before Civical. So he rushes the touch, and it doesn't go anywhere really. Pops out to Arsenal, he shoots it, 2-goal lead, and that's basically game over at this point. I'll go into the next goal because I want to talk about it, but yeah, at this point, it's looking a bit desperate, and NRG are going to have to start, throwing more people upfield just to try to get back into the game. It was a really good series though. NRG generated a lot of good chances early in the series, but this 5th game was basically all Space Station. And that should have been a goal right there by Justin. And then that should have been a goal by Garrett G too, but that was an extremely good save by Sypical. I've been really impressed by him this season. He's played really well, like, all the time. I think there's an argument to be made that, like, Arsenal or XP or someone might have, like, more pop-off moments from here and there. But Sypical's had a really, really solid, like, above-average season. He's really good. And obviously that's just a bad touch by Turbo Pulse that drops right into Sypical's lap, and he finishes it and puts away the series. So now if we're looking at the standings, here we go. G2's first place 3-0, and NRG's 3-1 now after dropping it to Space Station. Space Station's 2-1, so they're second for NRG and 4th place for Space Station. But it's going to be a really interesting season. There's not like a clear standout besides G2, obviously. Like Susquehanna Sonic's in 3rd place at the moment. It's still early in the season, but this game could really come down to define a lot of what happens in NA this year. And I honestly thought it was just like straight up really high quality Rocket League. So I hope you guys watched. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I've been Emret, and I'll see you next time.